Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. As you remember, yesterday the episode was focused around putting together a solution to try to keep the critters, the varmints, the wildlife out of the koi pond. We did our trip to Lowe's, we brought home some parts, and we started working on putting together a solution to keep the pests out of the pond. Yesterday, I concluded the episode with you in the process of putting together the protection for the feeder, the containment, so we can keep the what we think is a raccoon out of there. So anyway, yesterday I actually completed it, and when we start today's episode, it will be yesterday. It will be the end of yesterday because I did have enough time before the sun went down to actually put it together. And last night we tested it, and you will see later on in this episode the results of putting this together and if it was effective or not. I don't want to have any spoilers. And then we will continue on with our saga for trying to keep pesky critters out of this pond and from destroying our koi fish. So let's go ahead and get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Well, anyway, you remember yesterday we put together the solution. We did the protection for the fish feeder, which is inside that controller valve box assembly over there. And it doesn't really look too bad. I'm kind of happy with the way it looks. But there happens to be some more challenges than I thought. So what you're going to see here in just a minute is the conclusion of putting that together yesterday. And after you view part of the episode from yesterday, we'll go into what we captured last night on the CCTV. Now, the light wasn't as bright as I thought it was going to be. This is the light that I installed last night, and it's only a 3 watt. It's a 3 watt LED, which is equivalent to, I don't know what it said, it's like an 8 watt, or it's a very low light. It's basically for ambience for your garden to light up any shrubs or things like that. So it wasn't very bright. So tonight, I think what we might do is we might relocate this right almost on top of the fish feeder over here. So I have a feeling the critters are going to return. So as promised, let's look at the conclusion of putting together this yesterday, and then let's look at the video capture from last night, and then let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do in the next stage of this everlasting saga called getting rid of the critters. Well, here it is about 4:30 in the afternoon. This is actually a continuation from this morning when I did this morning's episode. But sometimes what I do is I will go out and I will grab some things and I will start putting something together. And then after I put it together, I think, well, why didn't I share putting the project together with you instead of seeing the end item? So that's kind of what I am doing today. Well, anyway, Ness and I went to our local Lowe's and we searched around for a solution. I do that all the time. It's so cool going inside there and designing something that wasn't necessarily already designed, or something that you can't find so easily. And you just look at stuff off the shelf and you say, maybe I can use this, or I can do this, or you'll see something, you'll say, oh, that would work great. And I got to give credit to Ness, because Ness, she said something to me about some of the boxes that you use for the control valves for your irrigation. She said, can you use that? And at first I said, no, we can't use it because it's not tall enough. It was about, well, anyway, it's this. I don't know if you could see this box right here. Well, the head of the feeder comes up to about here. Now I got thinking about, just because it's not the exact height, it wasn't quite tall enough, doesn't mean it couldn't be used. So I started thinking, and I thought, well, maybe we can cut a hole in the top of it, but then it would leave the top, the lid to the hopper exposed. We could probably make it so tight that when it snaps down on the sides, that the raccoon or whatever the animal is that's getting into the feeder, that they couldn't get into it, because you could probably design it like that. So Ness had another great idea. And these aren't my ideas, these are Nessa's ideas. So I'm always open to suggestion. She said, well, why don't you just stack one of the smaller ones on top of the bigger ones, or vice versa, and maybe you can make that work. So anyway, let me show you what we picked up, what I picked up today. So I got 2 of them. I got 2 of these. Remember, normally these are for control valves for irrigation. Pop these off, and it gives you access if you have to do maintenance on your control valves for your pop-up irrigation system that you have around your yard. Well, anyway, we ended up buying 2 of these right here, and I'll show you the solution that we came up with that. Also, what I picked up today was some like plexiglass kind of stuff right here, and this is what we're going to use to protect the top of the skimmer over here, the skimmer filter. We'll be using that. I'll be working on that, and I'll share that with you today too. But also, I had to figure some way that even if it's a raccoon, that this doesn't get knocked over, this control valve plastic cover right here. So what I did was, I picked a couple of these, and these are neat. I haven't seen these in the Philippines. These are Tapcon. You can actually take a regular screw. You see the screws, and they kind of look like that. And they come either with a wedged type of head or like a flat head like this one that you can actually use a wrench or a socket on. And you drill a hole, and these pretty much pre-tap themselves without the need for the anchor that goes down to the concrete. These anchor themselves into the concrete. This is such a cool way of doing things, as long as you don't need some really heavy duty type of torque that you normally use with expansion type of anchors. But these work, and I think we're gonna, and they won't make a huge hole in the concrete if we have to do something later. So I think what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna secure the control valve boxes over in that corner over there using a couple of these so that a raccoon can't knock it down. So anyway, let's get to the task of putting some of this together. First thing I'm going to do, and because it's the simplest task to do and I can get this done quickly, is I'm going to take this acrylic sheet here, and I have my little marker. I'm going to set it over the top of the skimmer housing, and I'm going to trace around so that I can kind of make it a clean cut that will fit exactly to the top of the skimmer. And then I have to cut a little hole, remember, for that overflow drain that's inside there. I will cut the hole for that, and then I'll just get a couple screws, and I will just mount it to both sides. Something that's easy to remove when I need to do cleaning of the skimmer, and easy to attach back, but it will be a deterrent from keeping that pesky critter out of this and getting to our koi fish. When I cut through acrylic or plastic or anything like that, I like using something that's a little bit of a fine cut. Inside, this one says it's for scrolling for wood. There isn't one inside my box that actually says for plastic or fiberglass or things like that. But this one right here, as long as it's a fine, it won't rip it up quite so bad. So let's go ahead and use this one for scrolling. Something I really like DeWalt products. This is my DeWalt jigsaw right here, and it's so easy to change the blades on here. And I've had really good luck both with the powered one for AC and the ones that are battery powered. Alrighty, now it looks like our cover solution is going to work. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to get inside there. And what's kind of cool about this type of material is once I peeled off the protective coating that keeps you from getting scratches, it's actually see-through. It's clear, and you can see if there's fish inside there. You can see if it needs the filter changing. You can see that. Also, we don't have to worry about the critters pulling out the skimmer basket anymore. So that takes care of everything. And for maintenance, it's just removing 3 very short screws, pull it up, and do the maintenance for cleaning out the skimmer filter assembly inside there. So that's done. So the next task at hand is it's starting to get dark here. I don't know how much I'll get done today. Maybe I'll finish it up tomorrow morning. But we are going to work on the protective cover, which are these 2 things right here, for the feeder. Let me try to explain to you what the intent is that we're going at to try to protect the feeder, the fish food feeder. We bought 2 of the control assembly boxes, a large one and a small one. And the large one itself, as you can see right here, it's not big enough to go to the top of the feeder hopper. It extends beyond. Had this been a couple inches taller, this would have been perfect. We wouldn't have had to worry. We could have just lifted the lid on the top. We could have done maintenance, cleaned it, pulled out the feeder, whatever we needed to do. Well, it's not. So what we ended up doing, we ended up buying 2 with the original intent of taking the second one, putting the second one over the top, and then what we would do, then we would put the lid on the second one right here, and it would look something like this. Of course, the lid would be closed, but that kind of looks, it's not too bad, and we could put a planter on the top. But before I do that, I'm going to try to do something. Since we have 2 lids, and we're only going to use 1 lid, we're going to have 1 extra. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to take the lid, take this second assembly off the top, and if I can do this with precision, I am going to try to cut out the lid to fit right through the top of this one right here, where we only use 1, and then the top of the hopper will stick out. I believe the lid itself will secure the top of the hopper in place right up against this little clicking securing point right here. Now, if it doesn't work, it's going to be a lot of work to do this. I just want to see what it looks like. If it doesn't work properly, if it doesn't look properly, then we'll go with the original option. So I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough time to do this today. If I don't, it will be a job first thing in the morning. We'll get back to it. Well, anyway, I did a pretty horrible job cutting this hole. I kind of went out of my line, and then I had to redraw it. And a good thing we have 2. Now, this top one, it's expendable because we have 2 of them. But I would kind of like to have this work because I would like to send the other one back and get my money back if I don't use the additional control valve basket. So let's go ahead and see if this will fit properly over the top of the feeder. Anyway, I didn't like that first setup. It stuck out too far on the top, and what I did, I could actually push the top, this up here with my hand, and it would have done the same thing. I think the raccoon or the critter that is getting out here, which I believe it's a raccoon like most of you have agreed with, I believe he would have just shook the top and it would have been dumping out more and more food. Now, what I did, I put the small one on the bottom and I put the big one over the top, and it brings me up about another inch, which is what I needed. At least another inch inside there to bring this up to a good level for the top to stick out but to be secure. And if I were to go and redo the top again, where I cut it very precisely, which I might do that tomorrow, I think it'll work. So let me show you what I'm talking about, how it's set up. So you see I have the small one on the bottom, and we can just mount that securely to the concrete. And this one goes right over the top of this one and gives us just this amount right here. And I think that's going to work just fine. Doesn't look too bad either. Right, well, I got this in before the rain came down. Remember, I told you every single day we seem to be getting rain. I want you to look at the sky. And I've been hearing lots of thunder, lots of thunder. Haven't seen any lightning yet, but that's right around the corner. Usually where there's thunder, you hear that? There's usually lightning. Anyway, I want to get this done before it starts raining. I have one more thing I need to do. Okay, so this is in place. I was able to get it. I think it will be okay. I don't think the raccoon or any varmint can get inside. We will find out, but the only way to find out is to be able to do some observation. The CCTV is set up on this area for tonight. And what I'm going to do, I have a light I'm going to hook up. And what I have to do to hook up the light is it's going to be a temporary lighting situation just to light up that area. I picked up a LED light today. This is one of the LED lights that hooks up to the same lighting cable that does the pond lighting. I'll hook that up. I have some PVC here. I think this is 1.5, that's 1.25. And what I'll do is I will put this section here that would normally go down in dirt, because I got to get it elevated. I'll bring it up a little bit higher in this corner to light up this area so that we can observe what's going on here tonight. All right, now with our light in place, maybe we can see the culprit tonight. I don't know. If it's raining and it's lightning and thunder, he might not visit us tonight, but I'm betting he will. So now we'll keep an eye on our CCTV and we'll see if we get visited by the predator, the critter from the woods, and we'll see if this deters him from ever coming back again. We will see. Well, anyway, what I'd like to do with you right now, I want to share with you, I have two very short clips from last night's CCTV capture of what was going on in the pond. Again, the video is not clear. It's clearer than the day before because we have a little bit more light inside there from that light I put in. And tonight it should be even clearer because I'm going to relocate the light closer to the feeder. So if the varmints come back again, which I am almost positive they will come again tonight, and hopefully we don't lose any fish when they do come to visit us this time. But what I want to show you is what I actually captured. So let me go ahead and I'll run the video here. So actually, what you can see not only is there one, you see he just almost fell inside the pond trying to reach over and try to getting to the spout where the food comes out. But not only, you'll see here, not only do we have one raccoon, if you look to the side, we have two raccoons. There's one by the feeder now, and there's one going down by the area where the red maple and where the lilies, the water lilies are, and he's putting his hand inside trying to grab those fish inside there. And that's one of the things that the raccoons will do. They will stir the water, and the fish will think that there's food's coming up there, and that's when they, boom, when they grab them. The little fish are a little bit easier to get because they don't fear. For some reason, the little tiny fish don't fear people and distractions on the top as much as the big fish, which is good for our koi right now. Well, anyway, so what you can see is that putting the cover on the skimmer was extremely effective. We didn't have any problem. I didn't see any area around here that was damaged by the raccoons that we saw last night in the video. So they can't get into the skimmer anymore, so this is secured. Let's walk over to the feeder containment, the container here. Well, I will tell you that this solution to do protection to the fish feeder was partially successful. Not 100% successful, but I think it might work out. As you can see from the video from last night, the raccoon tried to get into it, and he wasn't successful on this side right here because it's all covered up. The top, we didn't have a problem so far. It's kind of dirty. You see all the dirt up here on the top? Well, that was from the raccoon crawling over there. You see the mess he made on the side of the ledge of the pond itself. When he came up from the area where he probably tried to get into the skimmer, could not get into the skimmer, jumped up here, and then he decided he was going to try to get inside the fish feeder, and he was unsuccessful getting into the fish feeder. Then you saw from the video, and it wasn't a great video because we have to relocate the light. Tonight we're going to put the light a little bit closer to this area right here, and so you can, maybe we'll get a better view of the critter, since my camera, I told you we're having a problem with the IR on it. So anyway, you saw what he did. He tried going up underneath here to try to get to that nozzle, and he almost fell in. As a matter of fact, half of his body did land in the water, but he had one claw, one paw on here. One of his legs was still maintaining balance on the ledge over there. So I don't think he was that successful, because it was only a few seconds he tried to get to it. So maybe this is an option, and maybe it will work fine. We might have to close up a little bit more around the bottom. I don't know. We'll find out after a couple more tries. So the next step that we're going to try to do is, I went online today and I purchased a cage. It's actually a cage that will catch the raccoons, or at least hopefully catch the raccoons. It is a, what is it called? Well, as you can see, our solution yesterday for putting together something to protect our fish feeder seemed to work pretty good last night, although not 100% without any flaws, because underneath this area down here, as you could see from the video from last night, the raccoon actually tried to get up underneath there and get his paw up inside there to distribute some of that food, whether to eat it himself or cunningly enough to try to get the fish to come up when they saw the food that came down there. I will tell you at this point right now, we did lose one fish last night. No koi, but one of the small goldfish feeders. And obviously, that wasn't the taste of the raccoon, because he left that little goldfish sitting right here, and I woke up to one dead goldfish this morning. Of course, any fish that you lose is not a good thing. And it just means that they're one step closer to actually getting a hold of one of the bigger fish inside here. So anyway, but this solution was a pretty good solution, although we can do some improvements. And one of the improvements we might be able to do is to basically put a cover along the bottom, so it makes it even harder for the raccoon to put his hand inside there. And what we want to do, we want to try to get rid of the varmints if we can, but right now it's a deterrent. It's a war. It's actually a war between human and wildlife, and I will tell you, wildlife has been around a lot longer than humans have, and they're very hard to defeat these guys, but you do the best. So another solution, I went online last night and I did some research. And this morning I ordered another product. We want to be able to get rid of the problem. We want to get rid of the varmints, the critters that might cause destruction to our garden, to our pond, to our fish. But we want to do it in a humane manner. At least I want to do it in a humane manner. I don't want to kill the animals here. And some people do that, but we don't want to do that here. So what I did was I ordered a trap. Four critter traps. Two of the biggest companies out there are a company called Amagabelli and Havahart. Now, I've used Havahart products in the past, but not traps. What I've used is they have these pellets that you can put around, and what it does, it puts off a scent that keeps things like deer and critters from the wild. It tries to keep them away, and I was partially successful with that. But after doing the research on those two companies that make traps, I found out the one by Have a Heart. It just seems like too many people are saying after they upgraded it and they put their new models together, it seems like they're using cheaper parts. The parts of the trap are falling apart. Some say they're unsuccessful. And the one by Magabelli just seems to be built a little better. But the one by Magabelli is a smaller sized trap. I think the one by Have a Heart, the length of it is 32 inches, and the one by Magabelli, I think it's 24 or 28 inches long. So that might be a challenge, but if it's built better and it will contain the animal and we can release them to the wild in another location away from my backyard, we're going to try that. So that's going to be the next solution. I ordered it today. It will be in tomorrow, and maybe we can deploy it Wednesday night. We'll see. We'll see if that will work. So anyway, right now, that is the challenge. It is the second part of trying to secure our backyard so our fish are safe and we don't have to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. So the next episode will be a review on the Magabelli trap, the result from the trap, the durability, and what we'll probably do, we'll do a product review as well as seeing how well the assembly is and the instructions and things like that, so you have an idea what my experience is with this product. So anyway, I'm going to close for today. There's not much more that I'm going to do here inside the yard. Again, if you look at the sky, we have forecast today for more rain. It rained yesterday, it rained last night, we had thunderstorms. Today it's forecast, and even again tomorrow there is forecast for thunderstorms as well. Again, rainy season in South Carolina, not unlike rainy season in the Philippines. So again, I will close for today, and we will continue the saga to try to rid these varmints from the backyard and protect our fish back here. I want to do it without putting any type of nets or things that take away from the beauty of the pond. We're going to try, and we'll see where we go from there. Let me close this part of the saga out, and we'll continue on. This is going to be a multi-episode saga trying to figure out how to get rid of these pesky varmints from our backyard. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen over there, and you will be subscribed and you will be notified the next time I upload a new video. So anyway, before I close the last few words, I just want to say hello and let all the folks back in Anilao, my home barangay back in the Philippines, back where Villa Feliz is built. I want to tell them I miss all you, and I can't wait to come back home and be with my friends again in the near future. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day.